The latest update has introduced aspects to the game. Described as super powerful mutations, they really can change a run at the cost of not allowing you to get boss cells, or I think flawless boss achievements, which is a little bit more important, but still something that I think could really make a big difference in a run if you're struggling on high cell difficulties especially. For the first one, I wanted to check out what's probably the simplest of the aspects, Stomper. Dive attacks and fall damage deal 400% more damage to enemies, which is just a good excuse to do another equipmentless run. It is something that I've done a lot in the past, and it's always kind of a fun way to just see exactly how far you can get in a run without picking up anything at all, except for necklaces, but usually tend to go with that on normal mode, no boss cells. This time though, since this does give you obviously a very clear advantage, let's at least start out with 2, and every time I die, I will reduce it by 1 boss cell. We'll see, maybe I'll be able to get through this more trivially than I expected, but I'm sort of thinking that, yeah, I'll allow. Oh yeah, besides, this is also a downward smash attacks, cover the ground with inflammable oil. So get that one, combine that with, I don't know, I guess it would have to be a second necklace now that I'm thinking about it. Because, yeah, I have no other ability to do anything. I don't even know why I opened that up. It's not like money's going to be too much of a concern here. I still am at least getting some potion charges, but yeah. So the question here, of course, is am I going to allow using the homunculus rune? Because that is technically not a piece of equipment, and frankly, I don't really use it enough as it is. That might be something to... You know what, I think I am going to say, at least for like the higher cell difficulty, that I will in fact allow that. Just purely because, well, it might take a while to kill enemies otherwise. Even with 400% extra damage, enemies, especially later on, are going to take some hits. I mean, aside from that, dive attack, much like the homunculus rune, both scale with your highest stat possible, so I guess, like, whatever I choose, it'll be fine. I don't know if there's any, like, really good choices. It's really going to be whatever I get from mutations. So I think survival, maybe, or just something that gives me extra damage, period. Brutality probably has more options for that because it is considered a melee attack when you smash down on enemies. I guess I'm going to go with survival for right now because gastronomy is probably going to be useful. What I can do is I can sell food for some big buffs, and then there's also the one potion, extended healing, that could be pretty useful too. I don't know. I mean, right now, I as much as I think that, yes, 400% seems like a lot, it's like how often do you use the dive attack as far as, like, attacking period goes? Oh, come on. Well, tiny area here is not very amicable to trying to dive attack enemies. Not like there's any real strategy aside from that. You get it slightly more powerful if you do it from a larger distance due to the whole ram rune. And actually slightly more area, too, that it also hits, I think. But that doesn't really mean much of anything, you know, in a normal run. It mostly is just useful here, and for the rare times that you can get, like, a breach, you know, stun of the little micro stun you get on enemies by slamming down on the ground, you know, getting an advantage if you're falling from a high height. It's why I usually want to be, like, slamming down on the ground as much as possible. It's just... sometimes that does result in you falling in spikes, which is, not fun. But still, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, homunculus rune especially. How about this? You know, I said that I was going to use the homunculus rune, and then I didn't actually do it. How about we do that during bosses? Because bosses are, of course, going to have a lot more health, and the ability to stomp down on top of them is going to be sort of limited. So I think that, yeah, trying to make that work in there especially is going to be very important to actually having a successful run. Aside from that, as many stats as possible. That's going to be the name of the game. Could kind of plan out the route too, but I think just the traditional promenade, ossuary, etc. is going to be fine. Dive attack will not get me killed against thornies, despite being a melee attack, so that should be fine comparatively to, say, I don't know, should be fine compared to, I don't know, the Cursed Sword. Or really any other melee weapons entirely. Hey, I didn't realize I was that close. Alright, still got a whole bunch more flawless outfits to get, but deal with that in time. Mutations, what to take? Like I was saying, I think like extended healing, that's the sheer like extra damage that you get out of this will in fact still apply to the dive attack as far as I know. But yeah, gastronomy as well. Armadillo pack could be useful, but if I pick up an item, it's going to go into one of my item slots, so I can't even put it in a backpack if I decided that that was even an okay mutation to take in the first place. You know, aside from that, like, combo could be good. Initiative would probably be pretty good. Crow's foot, maybe? I don't know. Anything else is not going to be particularly useful. Then, like, yeah, something like No Mercy, the YOLO mutation. Here, let's just take YOLO mutation right now. Sure. Seems like something of a waste, but I suppose I'll take it anyway, regardless. All right, but yeah, it's a... YOLO mutation is just going to be useful for, like, trying to stay in the game as long as possible. Since there's not really a ton of different mutations that I can possibly be using, this one seems like, yeah, usually the kind of default one to go for if you got nothing else good. Unless you're taking the Cursed Sword, because that doesn't apply to Cursed Sword. Oh, that would be so powerful if I had the heart during the Cursed Sword runs, but no. Oh, man. Gonna eventually do the damned aspect, too, which is, you know, double damage if you're cursed, but you don't actually die also if you are cursed. Which means that's the perfect opportunity for a Cursed Sword run. It's just not the true Cursed Sword run. Well, that's also why, as much as I think that that's one of the more interesting aspects to be taken, it's definitely going to be one of the ones that I do later. Because I already have a like little mini-series going on right now, where I am going to be... There we are. Where I'm going to be doing a lot of Cursed Sword stuff. No reason to jump into that again right now. All right. As it is, I've taken like, what, one hit during the entire course of this so far? It's looking pretty nice for the time being. Ow. It's looking pretty nice for the time being, aside from that. Hey, wait. I thought you still did rally up health from doing dive attacks. I guess not. By the way, the game refers to them as downward smashes, but as you can see, the aspect refers to them as dive attacks. And I remember that I think it was, like really early necklaces also referred to them as dive attacks, which is why I always call it that. You can even go search the channel for stuff like a dive attack only run during the very early days of the channel. Back when finding items that gave you plus stats was just a thing that could happen. And although I really wanted to do it like, you know, absolutely pure, not even using any items, the dive attack at the time was not powerful enough to do it like that. So I just made it so that I took the items for the stats. What did I call them back in the day? Stat jockeys, I think. Items that you took purely for stats and no other reason. Because back in the day, stats would scale out of control with time. I mean, even right now, you get they are additive. You know, the more stats you get, the more effective the stat is going to be, which is why it's always kind of useful to go for. Oh wow, I actually recovered from that. Which is why I always usually endorse stacking everything into one stat. But it's like back in the day, it was even more ridiculous. Like, oh man, you would just get to astronomical levels of stats. Stuff that made the Spartan sandals, stuff that made dive attack runs actually work, or even other weirder type of builds. But that did mean that, you know, picking up items that even had +1 stats, which was just a chance thing back in the day, was extremely useful. That's why, as much as I want to try and avoid it, I still went for that anyway. Boy, stat distribution and how they worked and everything like that was so wacky back then. Things like things like always having guaranteed stats. I mean, I would really like that, but I can't take it by the rules of the run. Good old classic showcases. We're back, baby. Yes. Anyway, I was saying though, yeah, getting like stats in the timed areas. You know, the areas that would lock themselves after you spend so much time in a level. Just like stats that you could find in walls. I remember one update where they experimented around with buying stats from stores. There were like stores with them in it. It was a real Wild West time back in the day with Dead Cells. These days, a lot more consistent. And I do believe the last time that I did a successful dive attack run was, I think maybe during the Brutal update, back when the Timekeeper was the final boss and all that. So not nearly as difficult as trying to work with, say, the Hand of the King as the final boss, but still quite a challenge anyway. And that one I do believe I did without taking any equipment at all, which is, I mean, it's a way to play the game, right? I'm not going to say it's a good way to play the game, but you can clearly get pretty far with the stats alone. And you can see that as I am continuing to get stats here, I am doing just slightly more damage. Not quite enough to like one-shot enemies from a regular a regular height that I can get just purely by jumping, but enough that by a slightly higher height takes them out easy. Healing too has been a lot of good stuff. Been pretty happy with that. However, here's the question now. Do I go for the cursed chest? I want to, of course. Who doesn't want to go for the cursed chest when they possibly can? But, oh man, I feel like with knife throwers and everything that might be rough. I kind of feel like going for the... Oh, I was going to say 60 kills, but never mind. I have been pretty good about not getting hit for the most part in these runs. Like getting 40 kills here with no equipment. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try doing it. Might be a mistake. I'm not going to reset the not going to reset the boss cells, you know, -1 here if I die due to this, but we'll see. Disengagement could also work. I don't know. Give me the gastronomy, because that is both healing and... Well, they're really very generous with those, aren't they? That's both healing and damage, potentially. We'll see. Well, something to remember is that I'm not on 5-cell mode, so I don't need to worry about... having enemies teleport to me. So stuff like trying to get above them and then just slamming down is a strategy. Like, yeah, like this. Yeah. Like this. Normally would not work on like a 5-cell mode. It does work here. You know what? Sell it. Give me that big buff. Give me that big buff. And then here... able to kill the zombies in one hit for now. Again, I think largely due to the fact that I have the big buff going on here from gastronomy, but that works out well for me. Oh. Yeah, one of the things to dive attack is that it does have the sort of strange issue of sometimes just going through the semi-solid platforms. That still hit me, eh? Sometimes going through semi-solid platforms, if you slam down close enough to it, which is both good and bad for me. I mean, if you're trying to go for a pure dive attack run, that I do think that it's probably going to be more of an issue than it becomes helpful. Over the course of a normal run, it's usually pretty helpful. There. Well, not quite there. Oh well. I do not need to literally go and fight everything in each one of these runs right now. Not on this cell difficulty, but... it's like I do think that it makes it a little bit more interesting if I at least try occasionally. There we are. And take it to get me back up to full health. I know I'd like the, I'd of course like the buff, but I would also like to be very cautious. I mean, I guess like 2-cell difficulty I usually think is, I guess that's not the one that has only refills after bosses, but after every level here? I don't know, I don't remember it being like that, but needless to say, I've been sitting on 5-cell difficulty for a time now, so not quite sure exactly what each one of the other difficulties is like these days, even, to say the least. So many. I mean, it's just like, look ma, no hands, the run. Okay. When I said before that it's just like there are definite you can definitely do like kick-based runs. Whether it's there are several kick-based weapons in the game. It took them quite a while to add in the can't remember the name of it. Punch weapon. I can't. What is it called? It took them a while to add in the Hayabusa gauntlets. It's like the boots, the Spartan sandals, the spiked boots, and of course the classic dive attack has always been there. Dead Cell's the kicking game. It's a sort of game that you want, that when you play it, you of course audibly every single time say, might as well kick it. Now it's probably again gonna be, I don't even need it. Should have just taken the buff. Might as well kick it is just one of the many lyrics from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme that I think about extremely, just unconscionably often. Should really stop doing that. That and the part of like the extended version of the theme where he says something along the lines of drinking orange juice out of champagne glass. Yo, this is bad. I can't remember the exact line. License plate said fresh, fuzzy dice in the mirror. This is, of course, the most opportune time to talk about the Will Smith starring sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, now isn't it? Like, I mean, surely this first inaugural Aspect run is the only place that it could possibly go. Okay, fine, if you're going to do it like that. There's where the whole stomping being a little bit weird comes into play. Now, come on. There. I do have a food shop in here, and you can't sell food items from the food shop, even though that would be nice for the sake of... that would be nice for the sake of using gastronomy, but that's just not possible here. Okay. Maybe don't want to just try and go for killing every single enemy possible in this area. Well, at least now I have a solid platform, although now I'm just hitting the chain instead. Oh, man. The game is not designed to be played like this. Except for the fact that they did, in fact, of course, give me this whole aspect in the first place. It's like, I don't know what Motion Twin expected. This is the most obvious way to play this game, given this tool set. By tool set, I mean extremely strong iron feet. Well, actually, not even like iron feet, more like plutonium feet or something with how much damage these things are doing. The main character already has, like, iron feet. These ones are extremely dense and extremely powerful. Just tiny micro spikes on each one of the toes. Come on. Now, of course, I do have the ability to just use at least one potion charge, which I do believe I will. Come on, man. Hey, cut that out. Because I am going to... Well, I mean, I have the ability to use a lot of potion charges. It's not like I'm, like, really hurting on healing as of right now. But still. I want to still be... I don't know, maybe it's just the 5-cell mode brain coming in there, being like, never use any of your healing items unless you're in a boss fight, basically. Which is good advice for 5-cell mode if you can swing it. Of course, needless to say, use your healing items if you will definitely die, too. I mean, that is an old roguelike thing. One of the things that, your classic roguelike, not roguelite, but I'm talking like turn-based, very much like Rogue type of games will teach you, is that never preserve good items just because they're good items. Because, of course, needless to say, a dead person is not going to be able to use your cool Wand of Lightning or Wand of Death for that matter. Use it when you have the ability to. And that is, that was close. That is a lesson that I have taken to heart from many a game. That said, I do think that for Dead Cells, one of the things is that I do have just the sheer pride of knowing that it's like, I can probably, go without I got the skills. I got the ability to go without using the potion charges, even if I'm at very low health, usually. Often, not always. Okay, fine. We'll do it like this then. You're not going to walk over to me. Got to get good distance up here. That's clearly the way to be playing this if I have the ability. Obviously, boss fights and the like don't really let you climb on the walls. Except for, like, I don't know, the conjunctivious fight and sure. Except for, like, the conjunctivious fight, and the conjunctivious fight, of course, is, not gonna be the best place to do a dive attack run, certainly. By the way, one of the things it says here about the dive attacks and fall damage deal 400% more damage. I mean, well, first off, fall damage already does a lot of damage to enemies, period. That's always been a thing. I wonder if that does mean that you could get even a little bit more usage out of like Spartan Sandals or Impaler or Wrenching Whip, depending on how you play it. Stuff like those obviously do give you a pretty big advantage when it comes to using, kicking enemies off of anywhere. Try it again. And there we are. Still got hit once, but that's okay. There's supposed to be yeah, I think that even in the lower cell difficulties, there's supposed to be a cursed chest in here, right? Should leave some enemies alive and not just kill everything immediately. Though I certainly could and can and will. No, I mean, I won't. But I could. Anyway, let me get out of here and try to go find that thing because, okay, breaching at least work there and work there to kill it. All right. You do the whole dive attack, like, just doing a lot more damage. I really can, as long as enemies are not teleporting to me or flying at me or anything like that, like the bombers will. It's like I can really just, kind of leave everything in a good area. Set them up for the later kill, of course. What do you got? Kind of hoping for food, to be honest. Food can't be infected in this mode, so kind of less of a thing to try and deal with that. Not that stops me at any other point in time during like the 5-cell mode runs, of course. You know what I'm saying, though. Speaking of which, there we are. Really don't need, I could probably just sell that. Okay. Yes, there is a cursed chest. Good. Good? Good with a question mark. I don't know. I'm still worried that this is going to be the thing that sends me off into the start of the run again. That's how these games work, of course. But I don't know. If I play it right, it should be fine. It should be totally fine and okay and not a problem at all. Right? Well, let's see what the colorless item that I'm not even going to be able to use is. And it is, Symmetrical Lance, sure. That's an okay type of item. Well, I mean, actually, it's quite good. I like the Symmetrical Lance. I think it's one of the more notable, like, designed items in the entire game. I've always said that it's like if I was going to call any item like the iconic item of Dead Cells, it would probably be the Symmetrical Lance. However, can't use it anyway. So, no real point in even talking about it. Yeah? Okay. More worried about, like, you know, Inquisitors or bombers showing up when I do not expect them. So I'm just sort of, like, taking a look around, making sure I'm not about to run into any of those. Because those are the things that's like will still chase me around. Everything else will not. And that makes a difference. Okay, there's that. 3 left. Oh, those things attack so fast, though. There we are. 2 left. Should be okay, but yeah, let's go to an area where I have to go down to encounter enemies rather than up. Because once again, the bombers. Not quite enough. That's enough, though. Okay, just shoot a couple more out here. Hi. I didn't actually notice the Ares rune on the ground there. So that's that was slightly frightening for a second. It didn't even have the chance to react, but you know, curses are frightening, to say the least. Okay. Well, anyway, this also should give me the ability to pop one of the potion charges right before this, considering the I should just get it refilled at the end, so that's not a problem. I just hit the first one that I saw there, not really even thinking. It's like, right. I was working on a different one. Bam, and right to the bridge. This time, like I said, I am going to be using the fancy outfit. Which one is that, actually? I think that's the Guardian one from the falling... from the shrine. No need for healing? Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Can't use that at full health unless, of course, you are using the emergency triage at the same time, too. Okay, there we are. Whatever, I should be back up to mostly full health regardless. Do gotta be at least somewhat cautious. Yeah, that's actually right up to full health. Works out well for me. Now, needless to say, well, first off, gotta remember to throw that on you for that little bit of extra DPS. Got him in a good rhythm there. Pretty good at taking out that. This is 2-cell mode too, by the way, which is, you know, usually like that's always the one I talk about as being like the big difference maker in a lot of runs. This is the point in time where it starts to become very hard. The game stops pulling punches and all that. Kind of glad. I mean, I guess that speaks to how good the aspects are, or maybe how good I am at the game. But I mean, I don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to brag here or anything. I do want to brag. I want to brag a lot. I love bragging. Anyway. Good. And get that back up. Obviously not going to be getting the perfect fight here, but that's okay. That is not a problem at all. Even a little bit. Maybe I should just use another potion charge. Get this done lickety-split. Because it's just like, I'm going to get a bunch more potion charges, apparently, and also from, like... Well, I can go for a food shop in the next area, too. And... that's not enough. Okay, fine, then. There. Yeesh. Kind of expected that to... kind of expect him to go down a little bit quicker, to be honest. Good. All right. Well, that's enough, I suppose. Whatever works, I guess. Obviously not getting anything there. And then pretty much just don't really get a whole lot of cells unless you're going on the higher difficulties, do you? Of course, that's largely due to the fact that there is the simple route. Let's just go simple route. Of course, that is also due to the fact that there is the whole lack of elites. You don't find a million of those things in every single area. Just like clogging the stupid vine. Didn't even see it there. There we are. There we are. Good. But yeah, you don't see a million elites just clogging the entire level with their presence or anything like that. Which does make quite the difference now, doesn't it? I guess I'm like one away from getting a potion charge now, aren't I? Okay. There's one. Fortunately, he's not making it easy for me to get the other one. Oh, nice. Less nice. Ah, well. Should I just kind of be cautious here? I think I probably should. And just go for the potion charge right now and not worry too much about it. I'll be able to afford another potion charge after all anyway. I see. Nice try, though. A very good attempt. Not good enough, though. Like, if you think for even a second that I am going to be getting hit by a cannonball in that way, you're probably right, but not this time. Usually, though. All right, anyway. I keep forgetting that it's like I keep like mashing the button for I keep mashing the button for like entering places or exiting places more specifically, but forgetting that it's like, yeah, they make it so that you just automatically leave from an area now. It's not even a big deal. It's weird. It's something that I do not expect. Right, take you out. Take you out. That was close. But okay. Still want to go get that potion charge already and finish up with... And, like, yeah, just... There's not really too much reason to hang around in levels to gain a whole lot of money or anything, especially after this point. Because this is the last food shop that I'm going to be getting, period. Yeah, keep going here. I should maybe also stop putting everything into 2 stats. Why am I even doing that? It's because of all the other... It's because I'm expecting to get legendary items, even though I know that's not a thing. Like, I know that's not a thing. That's not possible for me to do, not in this run. And yet I'm still continuing to do it. Strange. Now, there. Not quite enough to hit me. That was, but that's okay. Oh, man, I'm just trying to, like, you know, get over into this area over here so that I can get into the shop, but it's just so many enemies, making it difficult for me to do exactly that. Okay, gotta go get that piece of cake here soon. All right, there's the key, there's the stat, and then I'm pretty much ready to go. Baby, I'm ready to go. Shout it from the rooftop. You gotta be kidding me here with that one. That's just the most ridiculous place for that one to even appear. All right, I'm gonna run out, get into a little bit more advantageous area, and then probably try and I don't want to use the potion charge once again because, like, yeah. But that might be what happens. One of the box elites. What a horrible place for that to appear. Oh, well, just do it. Obviously, you just get free potion charges after every single area. So, not really a big deal. No. This is entirely workable. It's just I'm just frustrated basically that I is this a cursed chest? Because there doesn't seem to be an enemy on top of it. It is. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. Extremely interesting. Scary in the way that I'm interested by this. Okay. Let's slam down on top of this guy. Okay, well, that did not actually take out the bats. I thought it was going to be a little bit larger in terms of taking out the bats. It was not. And now there's going to be so many worms outside of this door the second that I leave. It's like, oh, man. Okay. Done. All right, well, that was, like, okay, I guess I'm going to say. Let's get out of here, then. A little bit disappointing in some ways. Didn't really quite make out of that area as well as I was hoping it was going to be, but that's okay, I suppose. It's like I was really expecting to, like get full up on potion charges, get like fully healed, still have my heart. Maybe that one especially. Especially that one. But didn't quite work out in that way. But that's also why I took that in the first place. Always why I take that in the first place. It's a very, very safe type of pick. It's just usually you don't want to see the box elites like that. But I did, and I do. Anyway, back up here. Obviously going to be going for the timekeeper this time. Why? I don't know. Didn't really think too much about it when I went in here. I mean, I guess it's because like all of the options are kind of like, all the options are kind of like not great for the second tier boss. And there we are. So I suppose it doesn't really matter too much what I'm picking. They're all going to be kind of hard to fight, to say the least. But I suppose I'll see how this goes then soon enough anyway. Really, I feel like this is... And yes, I know I'm already setting expectations here, aren't I? That it's just like, I feel like this run has gone pretty well and shown off this whole aspect, considering that it's probably the one... I doubt people are going to be using this aspect an awful lot, to be honest. But maybe. If you're also interested in doing weird gimmick runs for some reason... You might be. I don't know. As far as I know, though, I don't think a lot of people, aside from myself, are doing weird gimmick runs. Just not really like a common style of playing Dead Cells. Which is, I guess, how you could put it. There. Nice try, but ain't gonna work. I mean, gimmick runs are fun, but of course, it's like the game is designed in a way that you should be switching up builds all the time, kind of like trying to figure out what works best and not just keeping the same sort of items over and over or using the same sort of stale attacks from the beginning of the game. Hoping that, just thinking because it's like, hey, I like this weapon. That means I should be using it forever. There we go. That's a lot of extra health. Ah! Dive attacks being funky. Like they're oatmeal chunky. Straight Gangsta Mac. Sometimes they get ridiculous. Eat up all your crackers and your licorice. Ouch. Yo, Archer. Stop shooting me. 22. Not bad. Not bad. No challenge rifts. Like one extra curse chest, but not like, a huge embarrassment of stats. Which is always, of course, what I like seeing, but not really possible at all points in time. I'll do it. What do you got? Okay, double elite. I can take that. Nice. There's one more, and done. Sure. That's a lot of extra health, too. Yeah, I guess I haven't really taken a necklace for a while now, have I? Well, you don't really get nearly as many options in the earlier cell difficulties. They just don't spawn as many elites. The whole choking out the sky with elites and everything like that is... I could just leave right now. Not yet. Let's at least see what else is going on here first. It'll put me up at full potions, which will be nice. I might just end up using that sooner than later. Ah, dang. Once again, for the buff. And also, just like the slow healing is more useful when I don't take all of my health in a single hit. Of course, of course. Wait, do I even have anything? Wow, this is a very straightforward area compared to what I'm used to with the clock tower. Even more ridiculous sort of architecture than usual as well. It's like, we got a base, but we decided to, you know, just like build it far to the right of that. You know, for fun. Okay, well, I guess that's that. Let's go. Never mind. Oh. One could say that this tower is off base. That's a phrase I like using a lot. Anyway. It's not quite a based tower. Based on what? White Lines by Grandmaster Flash. Ooh. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know how this one's going to go. And then obviously I should go into the castle, but instead I'm going to go into the distillery because... I don't know. I guess we'll see how this goes. And also, yeah, I did forget that the Timekeeper does in fact have walls. She is a character who has walls. That does mean, like, hey, trying to hit you with the big attacks here. Come on. It's actually working out pretty well. Well, to a certain extent. I mean, it's like I'm getting good damage here. Also, should remember to... Ow. Well, no perfect fight, but didn't expect that here. Done. Excuse me. If and you don't mind, I just have one little of like setup that I need to do to make this entire... It's actually working out okay, all things considered. I sort of expected it to be a little bit more difficult, but I guess, like, yeah, the ability to like run up walls does make it pretty effective in terms of fighting this fight. Again, not great in terms of trying to like get perfect fights, but it's working. It's working. Stupid. Knocking me out of my animations here. That's okay, that's okay. Just maybe trying to overcommit to some of the more ridiculous types of It's like I don't really need to go. I'm trying to do this too fast, I think is the problem. Okay. Done. It's like I do chunk off health pretty good. That's unfortunate. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm willing to use a potion charge here, hither and thither. Oh, come on. Doesn't do that much damage, though, thankfully. Okay, well, this is the point in time. This is the point in time where I'm going to start just like going for regular attacks then instead. Okay, come on now. Doing so good, but like the movement that she's pulling out here is making it a lot more difficult now. So good strategy for the start here. Come on. There. Not great, but workable. It's like that's an acceptable sort of way it's an acceptable fight for me. That is an acceptable fight. I will accept it. I will take it and leave it like that. Now, who's ready to see me die in the distillery? It's me. I am ready for it. 100% now. Dang, like that fight started out so well and then just kind of went south as soon as I couldn't hit her anymore by climbing up on the wall. Shouldn't have been so obsessed with trying to do that. Let's go. Now I'm ready for it. only too ready for this. I'm going to die to, like, the exploding barrels. Almost assuredly. But look, it's the distillery, everybody. There we are. I did know that still worked that way. In case you were worried about me not even being able to get through the first area, but it's like, yeah, you can do like this sort of stuff, which is useful in this situation. Now, almost definitely. Oh boy, the exploding barrels, like I said. Of course. Also, like I said, it's like potion charges are good here, but I will not hesitate to use them if I absolutely need to. Hopefully I'll just find a piece of food or something instead. Come on now. There. What, did I get hit by like the single dart that it threw out at some point? Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. I can't really pick up the weapon now, can I? Should remember that. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to like go and really. I'm alive. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I choose that because I'll probably... Oh, no, okay, that was such a larger explosion than I thought. Well, to it should be nobody's surprise, I died yet again in the distillery, so, you know, I'm going to call that a run, though. I think that was pretty good, even in spite of the very stupid end. You know, what else can you expect, really?